Okay, so what I've done here is I basically made this table of like all the possible formulas that you can get. Now, for this is for stats, so that's Stats130, because in our exam you're going to get some like questions of Excel. Now, one of the best tips to this is just know the formula, like what they are. Like know interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. Then like you'll know what formula goes into Excel, because it just basically, in Excel, your multiple choice is, this needs to be correct, that formula, right? So you know what I'm saying just now. So the first formula we're going to do is rand between. So firstly, all these are not the actual formulas because they have to start with equals to, but the problem, if I put it equals to, then the formula is going to work and it's going to give an error. So that's why I never put equals to, but don't worry, I'm going to do it over here. So equals to rand between. Now Excel already gave me that, so rand between. So rand between basically lets you pick a random number between what you want. So let's say I want a random number between 0 and 100, right? Now firstly, see this comma over here. In the Excel worksheets we do that's a semicolon. It doesn't matter, right? They won't like give you comma, semicolon and like different ones and choose. No, comma and semicolon are different because there's different versions of Excel and they think, but they won't worry about that comma, right? So although that's semicolon in the notes, it doesn't matter. They won't test you on that. They'll probably test you on the function or this or the actual formula, right? So equals to rand between 0 and 100. I want a random number. I press equals to. There we go. It's 878. So that's how it picks a random number which you want. Now what is rand? The function rand. Now the function rand is exactly the same as the rand between, but I do not put any number in here because it will randomly generate a number between 0 and 1, but not including 0 and not including 1. So like basically 0.1, 0.9 to basically 0.999. So it'll give like decimals, and there we go. So it basically randomly generates a number between 0 and 1. Okay, now sum formula. Now I made all these numbers on the right. Okay, so to show you how the sum formulas work, so equals to sum. Okay, now to basically say what's the sum of all these numbers, it is this block which is K4 and the last one here which is M13, right? So K4 to M9. If I already do this, it'll already tell me K3 to M14. So that's how you like basically say like all these blocks. So it's this first one and then this corner last one. Okay, and then I put my bracket and equals to. There we go. So it tells me the whole sum. So when we sing the whole blocks, you say this first one and this last one, it gives you the whole sum of the whole thing. Alright, now minimum is exactly the same, equals to minimum, and then the same thing, right? It'll be K3 to M13 equals to, it'll give minimum is 0. Yeah, 0 is the minimum. Maximum, exactly the same thing, right? Maximum, all these numbers, it gives 100. Now what is range? Now range is there's no formula for range in Excel, right? Wait, let me double check if there is no formula. Let's see. Equals to range. Yeah, there is no formula for range. So you need to know that range is the max minus min. So every time you start a formula in Excel, it's equals to no matter what, okay? So it equals to the max, right? Which is all these numbers here, okay? Close brackets, minus the minimum, all these numbers, alright? Close brackets. So this is how I work at the range, right? Because Excel does not give me range, okay? So I need to know max minus minimum equals to range. Equals to, and there we go, the range is 94. Now the mean, Excel do not use mean, okay? They use average, so which is the same thing, right? But they word it as average. So the average is the mean. So all these numbers over here, okay? Yeah, these numbers, its average is 53.6. Okay, now the mode, let me see if Excel gives mode. Oh, Excel does give mode, right? So the most common number between all these numbers, it's 46, right? Now, okay, so now variation and standard deviation, this is how the formula is, right? And this comes at almost all the exams, right? So it equals to var s. Remember, var s, don't forget the s. They might give you multiple choice. Variation is like variation.s. No, it's var.s. Remember that. So I want the variation of all these numbers. So K3 to M14. And there we go, we got the variation. Standard deviation exactly the same. stdiv.s. Do not forget these formulas for variation and standard deviation, right? You have to know these formulas, right? Dot s. It's dot s, right? Don't forget the s. Okay, all those numbers there. And we got the standard deviation 29.1. Alright, now what is correlation coefficient? Now correlation coefficient, there's a formula. It's a standard deviation over the mean times 100. Now correlation coefficient, they don't have it in Excel, right? So to calculate it, you have to basically put the formula. So it's equals to your your standard deviation. So your standard deviation is this number over here, right? So you can just pick the block. So it's F12. So it's your F12 divided by, so let's see, divide. So it's F12 divided by your average. So your mean is this, which is F8. And the whole thing, so put brackets because board mass. So the whole thing will be times 100, right? So times, remember in Excel, is a star. Now let me look for the star. Okay, perfect. Remember, it's not times, right? The times, it's a star. And there we go. That's my correlation coefficient. So Excel don't give you these things. You have to work with the formula, right? Also, just a side note, right? If you work out, like for example, what is F5 plus F6? It is 100, right? F5 plus X6. You can write that F5 plus plus F6, and it will give you 100, right? But wait, 103. F5. Oh wait, F5 is 499. Yeah, it's 103. But also instead of saying F5 and F, okay, I know why the numbers are changing, but you get my point. F5 and F6, I can put those numbers like it equals to 0 plus 97. 0 plus 97. So instead of saying the letters, I can actually also put the numbers, right? And it will give me the answer, right? Just that we put letters because it's easier, because if you rewrite the numbers, then it'll take longer, right? But if you get a multiple choice like that, so instead of saying like the blocks, that plus that, if they just say 8 plus 98, it's 100% correct, right? You didn't do anything wrong. That's also correct. Just that is a short form what we're doing. Now what is quartile? The quartile x.x clue is finding quartile 1, quartile 2, or quartile 3. That's the formula. Don't forget exc.exe. So now to work this formula, you just have to bear in mind this time. Okay, so see array and quart. Array is all these numbers in the data set, right? Over here, right? So my data array will be all these numbers over here. But now I need to know, okay, from all these numbers over here, what quartile am I looking at? There's only 3 quartiles. Quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. So now I put a comma. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a semicolon or what you see in exam, doesn't matter. See, do I want the first, second, or third quartile? Let's say I want the first quartile, so I'll put 1. So that's my whole formula to work out first quartile, right? So I put the data values I want, and from there, what quartile I want to choose, right? Take note. And there we go. First quartile is 23.5. If let's say I wanted the second quartile, right? If instead of 1, okay, instead of 1, I put 2. Then I get the second quartile. Okay, so that's how you find quartiles. Now let's just skip interquartile and go to, oh no, don't skip interquartile. What is interquartile? Excel don't know what's interquartile range, right? So, but you know it's Q3 minus Q1, quartile 3 minus quartile 1. So we just press equals to quartile, this, and obviously my data, they will all be numbers, and I want Q3, here's a quartile 3, okay, minus quartile 1. So quartile, these are my data values, okay, and I want 1. So basically this whole thing means what is quartile 3 minus quartile 1, because that's its interquartile range. I press equals to, and voila, we got 27, right? Okay, now you need to know what's percentile and quartile. Quartile, there's only 3 quartile: quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. You can't say, for example, if you want like the 75th, if you want, let's say, the 80th value, we can't say quartile 80, we have to say percentile 80, okay? Percentile 25 and quartile 1 is the same. Percentile 50 and quartile 2 is the same. Percentile 75 and quartile 3 is the same. Just that if you're looking for like percentile 99, we can't say quartile 99 because there are only 3 quartiles: quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. Quartiles mean quarters. So if you're going to look like 98, that's not a quarter, and that's not a quarters, you know what I'm saying? So you have to say percentile. So if you look at percentile, same thing as quartile, huh? Percentile.exe, don't forget exe. So my data array is this, and obviously what percentile I want, right? But here's the thing, if you're looking, for example, the 95th percentile, in Excel, when you're putting this down over here only for percentile, you have to put it in between a number 0 and 1, meaning you have to basically do decimals. So if I'm looking for the 95th percentile, it'll be 0.95, okay? Because percentiles in XL, not in real life, like basically needs decimals for percentile, right? So if I'm looking for, like, example, the 50th percentile, it'll be 0.50. So let's see if that works perfect, right? So if they tell you in an exam to work out interquartile range, it's quartile 3 minus percentile 0.25. Will that be correct? 100% correct. Percentile 0.25 is quartile 1, okay? Okay, now the sum product formula. Now, this happens when you get this. So you know when you get this and you have to calculate the mean of group data, you use something called group data formula. They'll give you this formula in the exam, the formula sheet, but to work in Excel, right? So let's say we got this. Ignore this, but what I'm saying, like, the frequency is what I got here, and the midpoint is what I got here. Now to work out the sum formula, or the average of the group data, this is the formula, right? So it's equals to, it comes out every time, sum product. Don't forget, it's sum product when you're working out this, right? So it's the sum of the product of this frequency and the midpoint. So you put a comma over them, or semicolon, whatever you want, and you put a midpoint. So basically what this does, it basically works out the sum of like 3 times 7 plus 2 times 3 plus 5 times 9, right? So this is what it does. But you must divide it over the frequency, right? So divide over the frequency, which is this number here. Okay, so it's the sum product of this and this divided by the frequency, right? Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, so when you see this in the exam, this is the answer, right? But instead, let's say instead of the blocks h1 to h3, you just say 3 plus 2 plus 5, that is 10. So divided by 10. They might give you this in multiple choice. It's the exact same thing, alright? Okay, so that's how you do the sum formula. Now, what else I want to show? It's frequency, the formula frequency. So it equals to frequency. Now this formula frequency basically tells you how much of things that are in that. For example, 3 and 2, okay, and then comma 1 and 10. There's 0, right? Because I picked an empty block. But that's what you get, okay? Okay, so that's Excel, all the formulas, right? Also, bins array is data, not an actual bin.